Inarkanua, the author of Overcoming the Challenges in Life, once said, "Every challenge you encounter in life is a fork in the road. You have the choice to choose which way to go, forward, backward, break down, or break through." Now, if you would ask me, what is the greatest challenge you have ever overcome? I would answer, this is it. This speaking contest is my fork in the road, and I intend to go forward. I talk too much, ladies and gentlemen, and too fast. Becoming aware of this challenge didn't happen overnight, because it wasn't really problematic. Not to me, anyway. But my teachers thought it was, and so did other students that didn't always understand me. I would say something like, sometimes words, phrases come out of my mouth so unclear and so fast that people think I'm talking gibberish, perhaps even Chinese. They would look at me with their mouths open, just like you're all doing now, and they'd ask me to repeat what I had just said, which was, sometimes my words and phrases come out of my mouth so unclear and so fast that people think I'm talking gibberish, or perhaps even Chinese. I do realize now that concerning intelligibility, this second try far outdid the first one. But still, it took a lot of persuasion to actually convince me to take enunciation classes. And boy, did I get my head slammed against the wall during my very first class. My teacher gave me text to read, and a dictaphone that would record my speaking. It took me, well, about half the time it took my other classmates to read the text out loud. But still, I didn't acknowledge any problems until my teacher made me listen to myself. And now it was my turn to look at the dictaphone with my mouth open. Holy cow, did I really talk that fast? And this awareness, ladies and gentlemen, was the first step. It was then I recognized the challenge that I could go forward, backward, break down, or even break through. The choice was all mine. And even though I felt very comfortable in my own speedy little world with my own speedy way of communicating, I decided to stick with enunciation classes just a bit longer. And I practiced and practiced. But still, every script I received had one big word written on top. Slowly, triple exclamation mark. And you know what? Once I had accepted help, it wasn't such a burden anymore. Don't get me wrong. It is still unbelievably hard for me to speak slowly and pause at the right moment without my paper, because my paper tells me exactly when and where to pause. And with my paper, I can see every pause coming just a sentence ahead. But that is part of my challenge, isn't it? Managing without a paper. So, to make a long story short, when my English teacher asked whether anyone in my class was interested in participating in the BBC and Telenet Public Speaking Awards, I immediately said yes. I needed a challenge. I needed to know if I was ready to speak intelligibly in front of an audience. And no better place to find out than here, in front of you, in front of a jury of people who do not know me and have no history with me. I hope, ladies and gentlemen, that when I go back to my seat in a couple of minutes, you won't think of me as the little Chinese girl who talked fast, but you will all remember me as a girl who has just overcome her greatest challenge. And for those among you who are stuck at a fork in the road, unable to move forward or break through, try not to break down or move backward. Reach out for help and remember that this is only a temporary setback, because every fear can be faced. Every challenge can be overcome. No matter what road you're facing, it is just a matter of taking that first step. Thank you.
What what is your next fork in the road?
Well, actually, I don't know yet. I haven't seen anything in my life that I could improve. Well, maybe talk a little more slower, because I think that this was actually quite fast. But yeah, I think that that is still a fork in my road, and I'm trying to overcome it, but it doesn't always work that well.
You mentioned that it took a while for you to become aware of your problem, but where do problems begin and personality and individuality end?
It differs from problem to problem. If I would look specifically at my speaking problem, it happened and it started from when I was a very small child. But I think the only people that knew me, they knew how fast I talked, and they actually were used to me talking that fast. But it was the moment that I had to make myself understandable for the rest of the world that people thought, what is she saying? And it was then actually that I could know that there was a problem. And it was just the moment that people think, what's wrong? Or how can we help this child? Or what is the next step in what she's going to do? That from the moment that you realize that something is wrong or something can be changed or can become better, that is the moment that we can speak of a challenge that can be overcome.
Were you angry with the people who didn't understand you?
No, not at all. I like talking, so I didn't mind repeating myself for 3, 4, 7 times. And from time to time, I would just start blabbing different words out, and it would be like very long sentences, and then they would ask me, come again, and then I'd say it again, and it would be fast as well, and then eventually they'd make me say the whole text in one sentence. And eventually, I think that that actually helps. I think that being able to have people say what you have to do and being able to know what you have to change, that is something that will actually help you for the future.
What would you say to people who don't rise to the occasion, who don't take up the challenge?
I think that you should just have peace with what you think. Once you actually accept that there is a challenge and you can live with it without actually having to challenge yourself, I think that as long as you're happy with it, there's no problem. It's only from the moment that you're not happy with something, or that something really interferes with how you behave, or if something is really wrong and something, is really bad, or it's a problem in your life, then that might be the moment that you have to overcome it. But as long as there's no problem, I don't think you should be able, and you don't have to do that.
So criticism about your talking fast was the biggest reason why you did your this challenge?
Yes, probably. And then also for myself, actually, because people criticize you, and then you're thinking, oh no, what did I do wrong? And then eventually, when you can actually prove for yourself that you can overcome your challenge, and if you can actually start speaking slowly, and you see people that usually don't understand you, that they understand you for the first time, I think that's actually a great satisfaction, and it's a satisfaction why I'm doing everything.
Is it more difficult in your everyday life? Because here you prepare the speech, you know to talk slowly. I imagine it's not the same when you're talking to friends.
No, actually it isn't. There are some occasions, well, now I'm quite used to talking slowly at some points. So in the classroom, I try to talk slowly. When I'm at the principal's office, I try to talk slowly. When I'm at the doctor's, I try to talk slowly. But when I'm with friends, nobody actually minds. And if they don't understand me, they'll ask me to repeat what I had said, and I don't mind saying that. So it depends.
Thank you, Ms. Vandamme.